morning, everybody, and welcome to the GSMS Pride. This week, we are going to talk about goals. So we're actually going to sit down with the salespeople and the staff about what they achieved or what they had set for 2021. I'm actually going to do this in a two-part episode. I'm going to do the 21, what they achieved and what they set for 21, and then also what they have planned for 22. So check this out, and I'll see you all in a bit.
Without commitment, you'll never start, but more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy.
Tell me what your goal was for 2021 and then how you think you achieved that goal so far.
My goal for 2021 was just to continue learning the business. This was my first place selling cars, so I kind of didn't really know where I was at when I first started, other than, I wrote service, so I knew the car industry a little bit. So I just wanted to further progress my knowledge of the business for the most part, and that's pretty much what I've done. And with how everything's gone this year, I think I've kind of learned that. But then again, we're kind of getting back. We were in the driver's position, and now it's kind of getting back to where we're having to start to sell again. So that's helping as well.
Okay. So what were some of the things, you said learn the business. What were some of the things you were specifically hoping to learn?
People.
Okay.
more so people, because the business, you can learn the cars. The cars are easy to learn. It's more so learning the people that is what helps out the most. You meet so many different types of people that you have to learn to adjust to those people to learn how to sell them the car, not just to sell them on the product.
How do you tangibly track your goal progress? Do you track your progress and your goals through the number of cars you're selling, or what is the tangible thing that you use to track how you feel like you're doing? It's
more of a personal thing, like month by month, and seeing how many I sell and how well I feel I did on each deal, how well I got to know the people, how well I built rapport with them, to be honest with you. And after so many different types of people, and you learn so many different types of people, that it gets easier and easier as the process goes by.
So listening to Brandon there, I really feel that Brandon has come on leaps and bounds, especially in 2021 versus a lot of other years. Brandon was really struggling for a while, trying to figure out the process and trying to figure out how to deal with different people in different ways and not be so robotic. And I do believe that he really did somewhat get to that point. He has to be a little bit more consistent, but I do agree with him a lot. I think he did hit a goal there.
Goals for 2021. Did you have goals in your mind of what you wanted to do in 2021, and how do you feel like you met those goals?
I wanted to be the top salesman of the year, and I wanted to really kind of prove myself that I can do it, because when I first started, I was really, really terrible. I was like really bad. I was like, I am not good at this job. But I read books that Jason gave me, and I kept at it. And I took everybody's advice, like all the salesmen that work here, and made my own advice, like made it work for me. And it worked out. I was really happy.
So did you end up making top salesman this year then?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Two more.
Congratulations. I didn't know that, so congratulations.
Yeah, I'm 20 cars ahead, I feel like. So I'm like, hey, whoever sells 20 cars can beat me, but hey, I'll take it. I was happy as hell. I don't like boasting either, so it's like,
man, I love it. Congratulations. I'm happy you're succeeding. So that's great. So you achieved your goal then.
Yeah.
Did you have little small goals that built you along the way? Did you have a monthly goal that you were shooting for every month?
Yeah, every month I wanted to be at double digits, but my main goal is one car a day. I don't know if people, everyone's like, I'll get as many cars as you can out, but I'm happy with one car, because then the next day I get another car, and it's 30 days in a month, that's 30 cars, you know what I mean? But it's not 30 days a month, but you know what I mean? It's one of those small goals I have, is when I get to work, just focus on trying to get one car out, and then I'll focus on the next one. But honestly, it was good. Now I do have problems getting here on time, but I'm trying my best to tell far. God damn.
Wait, what's your problem getting here on time, Bijan? Why do you have such a hard time making it here by 9 a.m.?
Oh, because this place is hella far from my house.
Yeah, but like the drive's roughly the same distance every day. Like
I
the
know.
Sular doesn't get further away on Wednesday.
I feel like it does. Also, there's people like, well, so when COVID like happened, it was like perfect. I got here really early, and then like now COVID's over, and it's not over, but
Yeah,
now
it's the traffic being gone is over.
it's
Yeah,
kicking my ass. I'm like people crashing and stuff. I'm like, did you guys all forget how to drive? I'm like,
they literally did.
Bijan really did hit the nail on the head there. He at the beginning of the year, he actually set out to be the #1 salesperson for the year, and he 100% achieved that. And he was definitely more consistent than the year before. He was definitely more engaged. Yes, there are a couple of things that he needs to work on, just like his getting to work on time, which was kind of funny there, but he definitely has improved in many areas, and I'm proud of Bijan and what he's done this year. Hopefully he can do the same next year.
Cool, so let's talk 2021 goals right off the bat. What were they, and then how do you feel like you've progressed at the end of 2021 to reach those goals?
My biggest goals were to make my way up in the company. I've been in sales since 2014. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, so my goal is always to progress up into a management role. I did take on a role as a floor manager, so that progression is moving, obviously at different paces than some others, but we each have our own route that we take, and I think we're getting there. We're making progress.
Awesome. So, I don't know how many other people know, but I know that you at least had one interview with the Chrysler people. So you are making progress on that move and getting. Do you know anything about that so far?
I don't know a whole lot about it. I hear that I did well. I like to feel like I did well. I think part of it is just being on board with how the network likes to do things and the general feeling that the network has on how we run stores and want to treat our customers. So I feel like my progression has been going well in consideration for future positions.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm wishing you luck. I feel like you've definitely earned it. So
it's been a battle. We're getting there. It's enjoyable.
I understand, but that's, most everything you got to work for is the the ones you end up enjoying.
The best things in life take the most work.
That's right. What were those things you did in 2021 to actively progress your goals? Like, did you have monthly numbers in your head? Did you have trainings and things you knew you had to get done before you got to that position?
It wasn't really quite a monthly numbers thing, showing that I can still do the job and sell and make sure that the people around me that I'm helping know that I'm capable of doing what I'm asking of them to do is always important. For me, the biggest thing was helping bring everybody that's around me up and up to the level that we'd like to see them. So it comes with, obviously some sacrifices where maybe I'm not selling as many as I would like to, but I'm getting the pleasure of seeing the people around me sell more than what they would normally sell and helping them find their success and what helps progress them along with the company.
Cool, man. You got anything else you want to add about this year or last year's goals?
It was a very interesting year, but I think we did quite well this year for giving the interesting circumstances, and I think next year we'll have even more to offer that'll take us a step further.
Corey addressed at the beginning of the year that he wanted to progress with us, and we gave him a lot more responsibility to deal with excuse me, throughout the year, and he definitely rose to the occasion. There's still a couple of things that Corey does need to work on, but when the opportunity for Corey to come up as a potential finance manager at the Chrysler store, as much as I would hate to lose Corey from a employee standpoint, I would never stand in someone else's way to progress their career. So I did authorize to have that interview with Mark, the GM over at Chrysler, which he did, and we're still waiting on the results of whether he got that job. But whatever happens for Corey, I do believe that he's got a future in management, and I do believe that his time will definitely come. So I'm glad that he felt 21 was successful in his goals.
Starting in October, what were your goals for 2021 coming into the car business?
Sell as many as I could.
Okay, I like that. And how do you daily try and achieve that kind of goal?
I guess just do my best on like what people tell me, like, I guess like whenever people give me advice, like I just kind of take it and, you know, like mold it into my own form of like just trying to take what they tell me to say to people, and like in that kind of aspect, I guess. Just, I don't know.
Okay.
Kind of a tough question.
So how do you feel 2021 has gone based off of when you started in October? How do you feel 2021 has gone for you in the car business so far?
I think it's going up. I mean, my first month I only sold like 3.5. I mean, that was my first month, granted, and then at this month I'm at 5. So I mean, like it's, you know, kind of going up more. You know, like every month I'm selling more. So hopefully this, you know, next month I'll sell like 6 or 7 or 8. You know what I mean?
So Colin's kind of a tough one because he's only been here a couple of months. But Colin's right. He's improved his numbers month over month, so that's good news. But again, I don't really have much to say because I haven't really witnessed that much about Colin yet. So hopefully 22 is a good year for him, and he progresses.
Let's talk 2021 goals. What were your 2021 goals, and how do you feel like you achieved them?
So my 2021 goals was basically just getting better at car sales, learning more about the products, and just being able to build rapport also. That was something that I really needed to work on in 21.
Okay, so what were the kind of daily steps or monthly goals that you set yourself to know that you were achieving that goal?
Trying to get more people into the door, and definitely selling more cars. Trying to get over that 8-car hump, which I finally did.
So Abby has improved this year. She went through a really rough time in the beginning. I think she had to get a concentration on what she was trying to achieve and what she was trying to do. So I agree with her a lot. She's definitely worked on building rapport and building the process. She's having a great month this month for her. So hopefully she can learn from this and keep going in 2022.
What were your goals going into 2021?
As they usually are, I want to have a successful year, exceed my goals of the previous year, and that's basically it.
So do you normally set yourself like a monthly goal that you want to hit every month?
I do.
And what's that number?
The number is 15.
Okay. It's a very respectable expectation of yourself. How do you feel 2021 went in light of the fact that, you know, we're still in the middle of a pandemic?
Well, it was a tough year, and no question about it, for both the automotive industry and human beings, and myself as well. It was a very tough year. Not having the product really hurt us. Having a big following of repeat customers, it made it a little tough to facilitate their needs as quickly as I usually did. So, not pleased.
So I kind of feel sorry for John. John had a really tough year, not necessarily just in the car business, but in life itself. He had a lot of things go not quite to plan for him. John's really a consistent person for us. He always has been. So I'm hoping he can turn the corner in 22 and put 21 behind him. But he's right. You know, for a guy that's been with us for such a long time, it's been hard to facilitate his customers because we just don't have the units. But John will come good. I'm not worried about John in 22.
Let's just start with 2021. What were your goals that you had set out at the beginning of the year, and how did you feel like you achieved them?
So ultimately my goal was to progress forward, get out of sales, move into the finance side, join the managerial team up there. Went to a lot of different trainings that we've mentioned in previous videos before. Went to all that. Come December 1st, we made that change, so now I'm sitting up there on the desk doing finance, and pretty much got to where we wanted to be at the start of the year.
Cool. So you talked a little bit about that, you know, what you did to achieve that, but go a little bit more into detail. What were the things that you did beyond, you know, obviously you did trainings, but like what were the steps that you needed to take to get you to where you wanted to be?
So it really just took like looking at the whole process from a different kind of point of view. realizing that there's more to just selling the car to actually get that car delivered. Spent a lot of time going through different like finance menu presentations, recording and doing all that stuff, practicing over and over again, doing backup finance for about 3 months prior to the actual promotion itself, so that I could get some practice talking to customers. And really that's kind of the easiest way to learn is just by doing it. So if you have the opportunity to do it, that's going to be the best way, because it's kind of like anything else. Muscle memory and repetition was the key to actually being able to do it whenever the time came. That was my job 100% of the time.
Cool. So you feel like you achieved your goal for 2021 then?
Yeah, I would consider that, yeah, because I mean that was the biggest thing, was to progress. I mean, I've been selling cars for 4.5 years, a little over 4.5 years, and it was something that we had talked about for the past couple years, that was my main goal, and just actually getting there now. Really the biggest thing now is just maintaining that and keeping moving forward from here.
You know, Grant's really been an asset to the store over the last couple of years, and he really pressed hard to progress his career. He took a little bit of a step back, and then he came forward again and really proved himself. So Grant's done exactly what he set out to do this year. He set out to become a manager, and he achieved that goal. It took a lot of training and changing, but he's where he needs to be.
What was your goal for 2021, and then how do you feel you did on achieving that goal?
2021 was just trying to hold everything together with the lack of inventory that we had, constantly trying to get good used cars to put on the lot, keep the salespeople motivated, because ultimately they were probably hurting more than everyone else just because of the lack of inventory. Just making sure that we didn't have anything hanging out there for extended periods of times that are usually neglected during busy years, but this past year wasn't, like I said, crazy busy, so we just wanted to make sure we were the cleanest and best ran dealership, dealing with the climate we were in at the time.
But do you feel like you had a good year?
Yes, I'm very happy with the way this year turned out. Like I said, I wish we could have had more inventory. I wish a lot of things would have been different, but for the most part, yeah, it actually turned out pretty good.
Cool. So what were some little daily things that you do on a daily basis to make sure you're hitting your goals?
You say you do here.
Wait. Take these orders and give them to the engineers.
Right, I have people skills. Well, I started out the year in finance and didn't only transfer to the desk until December. So the little things that I had to do every day was a lot. I had to make sure deals were cleaned up from the previous day or during the week, handle any kind of stuff that was hanging out there for customers that I promised to get done during the week or they had called in later. I have to keep an eye on days to fund, have to keep an eye on my CATs, have to make sure all money's collected and receipted in, make sure accounts balance out so that there's no money left on the table or overages or refunds we have to get back to customers. Like again, just making sure everything was clean. Not to mention on top of that, help the salespeople submit deals, get people approved, close them, occasionally appraise a car. We would buy vehicles as well. Whenever Steve would be off, I'd help out on the desk a little bit more. So I would take on a whole other realm of responsibilities. So honestly, there's always something to do. So a lot of little things.
You know, Jeff's kind of a little bit of a success story for me. Jeff was really what I like to call on the bubble for a while in 2021, struggling with trying to get motivated to reach his goals, because he'd already stressed to me that his goal was to get onto the desk as a sales manager. But we did break through that, and we actually made Jeff the sales manager in December. But that wasn't just because of time served or anything like that. He actually stepped up to the plate and really started convincing me that he was worth a shot. So I do want to congratulate Jeff for 21 as a whole.
What was your goal for 2021, and then how do you feel you ended up achieving that?
I mean, personally, I have personal goals, obviously, for myself, and I think, you know, that numbers-wise and stuff, just doing a better job hitting everything that my boss puts out there for me with, you know, warranties and things like that. And I felt like that went pretty fantastic. So as far as, I mean, that goes, and then for the store, I mean, we had a really great month, both for us and for customers. So I feel like, or year, I guess, is what we're, doing the whole year. So it's been a phenomenal year overall. Even with COVID and whatnot, we've, a lot of people are still buying cars, and we're still having a lot of people come in. So it's going well.
I love it.
Yep.
So then, on that goal for 21, what were the things you did kind of on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to make sure you were achieving those goals?
For me, I have to track everything. So for me, it's I list my goals every day pretty much before I go to bed, when I get up in the morning, and then I've got a to-do list based on those every day, and just what doesn't get done, carry that over, and then just let that evolve throughout the year, along with the goals. And so if one way's not working to get there, trying something else and just continuing to tweak that.
Brian's always been a really good goal setter. He's always been very into honing his skills and changing up things that aren't necessarily going to plan. Brian's really flourished as a lead finance manager for sure, but I love the way that Brian's always willing to change something if he doesn't feel like he's going well. And I think Brian tracks his goals pretty closely.
For 2021, and how do you feel like it went?
For 2021, my main goal was to hit over 18 cars, which I did. In the month of March, I hit over 21 cars. So that was a goal that was well achieved and it took a lot of hard work. So it was nice. And then my other goal was basically to become a better closer without getting any managers involved. And I've been doing really good with that. So I think those were two of my biggest goals of this year.
Awesome. So I know obviously tracking numbers is easy. 21 is a good number to shoot for. How did you track the closing thing? How do you know that you're doing better with your closing?
Yeah, obviously not letting the customer leave and not having to come up to the desk several times, staying at my desk until, getting a firm commitment. So
I like it. I like it a lot. So what are the little things you do every day that you really pay attention to that help you achieve those goals? Like for that month of 21, what did you do differently than say a month where you didn't hit that number?
Something I did differently was basically, worked hard on every single customer, no matter what. Even if it was like subprime, I still worked with them, even though the process is a lot longer. I worked with them even like on my days off, and when I wasn't at work, I'd call customers on Sundays. That's usually when you can catch them a little bit better. And pretty much just got them in the door right away.
Alondra's kind of always been a work in progress, in my opinion. Alondra does a lot of really good things in the store, and I'm glad that she's taken note on trying to figure out how to do the things that she doesn't do as well better, and she's been working hard. One thing I will say is when Alondra wants to do it, she can do it. She is a little inconsistent at times, and I really hope 22 she can really hone those skills and try and be more consistent. But Alondra did have a phenomenal year, generally speaking. Like she said, she hit 21 cars, which was a great goal to hit in March. So hopefully, I wish her all the best, and hopefully she can pull 22 out and have a little bit more of a consistent year.
What was your goal for 21?
21, honestly, just make it through healthy. Being honest with you, man, this has been quite a last few years have been quite a stretch.
It is
crazy. Absolutely,
crazy.
For sure.
So professionally, do you set yourself like monthly goals? Do you have a vision of where you want to be on the board every month?
Not necessarily numerically, but it's more so about, with me, it's more so about the habits. Just having successful habits. When you have successful habits, success kind of falls into play, when you have the correct processes and habits in place to be successful. So I would say it's more so just about, I'm just trying to stay focused to make sure I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do on my end to be successful.
I love that, man. I love the idea of goals and habits kind of being the same idea.
Sure.
Like, You know, you could set a number, but if you don't do the things
Because I mean,
daily-
and it's the car business. I mean, it's up and down. You know what I mean? And so you can, you know, this is one of the few occupations where you can do everything right and still not get the deal. You know what I mean? And so the numbers don't necessarily always reflect, and so you don't get caught up in the numbers because, you know, you have a down month when you felt like you did everything you could do. It could discourage you, and, you know, you could kind of get off track from doing those successful habits. You know, so I just think just having the right habits in place and the chips falling where they may, you know.
I really love that his real goals are based upon habits. I think that's a phenomenal way to look at things. Definitely a phenomenal way to look at the car industry for sure. I'm really proud of Paul that he has stepped up to be one of the lead guys this year in 21, and again, I love the habits comment. That's a good one. So hopefully 22 he can really rock it out and have a massive year. I really hope you enjoyed that. That was very insightful to myself to actually kind of get an idea of how these guys think when it comes to setting goals and what they're trying to achieve. You know, it became very clear to me that people who have specific habits and track a lot of things specifically, even just the small things, are the ones that tend to be a little bit more successful than the ones that don't, which is good for me as a general manager because I can actually now go out and train those people on how to understand the numbers and how to figure out where they need to be to get those things. Let's say, for instance, they have a 10% closing percentage and they need to hit 100 people to actually just sell 10 cars. So I'm really glad I did this because it's going to give me some of my things in 22 for myself to really aim towards to keep these guys trained. So as usual, up on this side, I'm going to put up a video to the, As usual, up on this side, I'm going to put up a link to another video. On this side, I'm going to put up a link to my subscription page up in the top corner there. I'm going to put up a link to the Lou Fuse Ford page. Please subscribe there. As always, hit that notification button, hit that like button, comment, interact, subscribe, and I'll see you all next week.